back in the States.
Yay!
After a 3-month being away and meeting up with old friends. Let's go down that road. Hello, faithful people. I'm Orlean.
And I'm Gary.
In the dark. This is Rose of Faith. We met a friend of mine that I was with a company, a cosmetic company, for 22 years. And it's been about 8 years, maybe 6 or 7 years since I've seen her. And coming through Washington, we weren't that terribly far away from where she had to pick up her daughter at the airport in Seattle. So it was like, okay. So we stayed in Everett last night, a little south of Everett, at a church parking lot, and went to church there this morning at Beautiful Savior. Wonderful service. Had a great conversation with the pastor afterwards. Pastor Fred. That's not his last name. Schlick? Schleg.
Yeah.
Okay, Pastor Schleg. And talked with his wife Pam for a little bit too. And it was pouring rain today, so it was really a nice little break to just go, and we unhitched in the church parking lot, and then we came down and met Betty. We just had a really, really nice conversation, got caught up on a lot of things, and it's just one of those things that this is what part of our reason for doing this was, to be able to have time with family and friends that live far away, and to be able to reconnect with them. So, back in the States, it's a good feeling. We loved being in BC and being with our family and everything, but you feel a little bit isolated when you can't be using your phones unless you're by a Wi-Fi or something. It's just really hard. Sometimes there's things you just really take for granted when you have it so easily accessible, and then all of a sudden you don't. And the prices on food, big difference. We stopped at Trader Joe's in Bellingham and stocked up on some things, and man, what a difference that was. So yeah, it's good to be back, and we're going to be inching our way south. We are not in a huge hurry to get to our final destination by mid-January, which is in Arizona. So we have time. It's today's the 25th, 26th, something. It's the end of November. And so we've got some time to make our way down, and we're just going to take our time. We have not really been able to do that since we started out on this little venture, and we were very busy when we were in BC, but it's nice to finally just be able to start living more, at least we think it's going to be that way. Start living more of what it's like instead of rushing all the time. And we've been so used to that all our lives, and now we're going to start to see what retirement feels like. So it was really great meeting with Betty, because she's very good with social media and I'm not, and so she gave me a couple pointers which were very beneficial, and we're going to be part of a rock geocaching type of fun thing. We're going to plant some rocks that they had, and she showed us how to do that, and we may paint a few ourselves and plant them different places. So we'll be talking about that at a later time. We're just learning so many things. This is Seattle at night as we're driving by it. We're coming up to the downtown area. Somehow we're going to have to do this through the windshield wipers and everything else, but it looks like it's really pretty. It's got some pretty cool things, and I'll see if I can zoom in on the Space Needle. It's all lit up. I can see it from here. Okay, here's a little bit more of a close-up. That is so cool. I wish I knew what some of these things were. I hope this shows up. Look at the traffic. Whee! Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Everybody going home. We did not take the RV with us. We left that, like I said, at the church parking lot because we didn't know what the traffic would be like, and we really weren't ready to just pack up and go already, seeing as we just got there last night. So we're gonna stay till tomorrow and then start moving out again. Bumpy to be filming this, but you can get a kind of a rough idea. I mean, you're basically seeing what we're seeing. We're seeing some really cool buildings all lit up. They look like they're all office buildings. We've been told that in Seattle they have a tour of the former Seattle from many years ago, and it's an underground, like, remnants of what Seattle used to be. I don't know the story behind it. I have to do some looking into that. We really have a lot of things that we can do when we come back. Betty wants us to come and stay at their place, which is on a kind of a peninsula, and so that would be kind of fun, and see their homestead. And we would just be able to do something around just in this area. We could easily spend a lot of time just in the Seattle area. Look at the cranes. That's something. There's the Space Needle. I have to show you, dear. There it is, right in front of Gary's nose. This is on Gary's side, and that's the port. There were some big ships in there earlier. All those twinkling lights are houses and apartments and people's homes. Okay, so now that we're out of all that crazy traffic, now Gary can speak.
Good try anyway. So our meeting with Betty was great, and to see Orlean and Betty have some time together and remember and even experience some new adventures on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was interesting. To look at the possibility of planting rocks, finding rocks, and what that all might turn out to be. As we travel south, we're planning on heading along the Pacific coast, searching out lighthouses and things like that, or other curiosities along the way. Traveling less than 2 hours, or around 2 hours a day in daylight rather than at night so much. And hopefully getting into the Sacramento, California area around Christmas time and seeing some new friends there, or even a few family members in the area on the way down. It looks like quite the adventure ahead of us, even though we've been through some really great times in the recent months. There's still more coming.
Yes.
Stay tuned as we go down those roads.
Okay, you heard it from the expert here. So please like our video if you like it. Subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You get notifications if you ring that little bell next to the subscribe button, and then you can keep on the road with us. Bye bye.